James Kyson Lee, and you're watching ShowbizMonkeys.com.
Around this town, I'm alright. Around this town, I'm alright. I mean, no consequence when you playing with the fire.
I read that you have a background in improv and sketch comedy. That you worked at Groundlings, UCB, and Iowa West. How did that kind of training help you land your role as Ando?
Well, I think improv just helps in all aspects of acting. But I think comedy improv is one of the hardest things to do on stage. So all of those places are places that I wanted to take classes at. And I'm actually still taking classes at Groundlings when I have time. And I just have a lot of respect for people who are just really good at improv, and like the guys on Whose Line Is It are like the masters, and there's so many talented improvers that's out of UCB and IO and Groundlings, and so I just kind of use it to just keep me on my toes, and it's a space to just kind of play and let it loose and see what happens. So it's scary, but it's fun. Now,
I also read that you have to learn your Japanese phonetically for the show.
Actually, no. I think there's a lot of misconception about people. I actually have to learn everything.
Okay.
So it takes a really long time. My coach was just here. We talk for hours, and we talk almost every day, and we only get the script in English, so we have to sort of go through the translation process together. So basically, it takes down to breaking it down to every single word and talking about it, and how we should say this phrase and why, and also the cultural elements, the the intonations and the accents, and so I say is probably the hardest aspect of playing this character.
Ando and Hiro has started off pretty much as the comic relief for the show, but then over time, some of the storylines have gotten a little more serious. Which scenes do you like filming more?
I like to switch it up, and I think that was what was so cool about season 1 is that obviously we started out as the comedic storyline, and we're able to do some even physical comedy, which you don't really see in a 1-hour drama, and these characters were, from a different country, so there was a lot of fish out of water kind of situations, which was great. But then there were some episodes where we really kind of, we were down to earth, and we just kind of talked about our friendship and our relationship, and what we're doing in terms of our mission. So it was a good mix of both funny and dramatic scenes. I think we're sort of going back to that. This season has been again, a sort of a balanced mix. We're back to being sort of the lighthearted element of the show, and we're definitely together a lot in terms of just kind of experiencing this journey together and playing off each other. So,
do you like that Ando now has powers as opposed to just being the sidekick?
Yeah, it's cool. When he first started, he was sort of definitely like the sidekick role, and I feel like in the beginning of season 3 is when he started to really sort of search out for his own kind of identity and his own sense of purpose, and so it's been a really sort of nice arc of developing that, and then injecting himself with the formula, and then not exactly knowing what's going to happen. And then I thought the power that they gave Ando was really clever and creative, because if you notice, all of the characters' abilities come from sort of their element of their inner being. So Ando, having a sense of always wanting to sort of enhance or encourage those around him, or make others around him better. Even his name, Ando, there's like there's a sense of addition to his thing. So that's really cool how he's able to amplify other people's abilities. But on top of that, now we're learning that he can also have the ability to hurt you if he wants to. So he can help you or hurt you. So, and depending on who is paired up with, it's a different outcome every time. So it opens up doors for a lot of different possibilities.
Now, I know the show is often shrouded in secrecy, but can you give us any idea of what might be coming up for Ando later in this season?
Well, we're definitely trying to stop the hunters and the government of trying to gather up all the people with abilities. We just received a mysterious fax from this rebel who we don't know if he's trying to help us or it's a trap. So we're going to be sort of on this mission to, sort of dig that out and exactly where that's taking us. Also, the message was to save Matt Parkman. So we're going to be crossing paths with some different characters, but you'd be very surprised how that's going to end up. Our goal is to really kind of find the guys who are behind Building 26 and really sort of solve this puzzle. I think it's going to be a very exciting, road to the finale.
What are your thoughts on Bryan Fuller being back with the show?
Great. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Bryan, and I was a huge fan of Pushing Daisy. So ABC's loss became our gain. So we're so happy to have him back. I just love working with the guy, and he's brought so much positive energy and creativity, into the writers' room. And I love working with all of the writers on set, and having Bryan back into the mix, I think just made the show that much better. He was definitely part of the magic in our first season, and I think that magic's coming back.
ShowbizMonkeys.com